I left Hanawon in February 2020, right as the pandemic was starting. They gave me a small apartment, some basic furniture, and a modest stipend to start my life. It wasn't enough. Not nearly enough for what I needed to do. I contacted a broker, one of those people, who help bring defectors' families out of North Korea. The price for my mother and Minjun 30 million won, about $25,000. I had nothing, no savings, no connections, barely any Korean language skills. But I didn't care about the impossibility of it. I just started working. I got a job at a duty-free shop at Incheon Airport, minimum wage, standing for 8 hours a day, helping Chinese tourists buy cosmetics and luxury goods. The irony wasn't lost on me, selling the same kinds of foreign goods my grandfather used to trade. After my shift ended at 6 p.m., I'd take the subway to a fried chicken restaurant in Seoul and work until 2 a.m. Frying chicken, taking orders, cleaning grease off everything. 4 hours of sleep. One meal a day, usually leftover chicken from the restaurant. No new clothes, no entertainment, no life outside of work. My co-workers at the duty-free shop would invite me out for drinks, for dinner, for movies. I always said no. They thought I was antisocial. They didn't understand that every 10,000 won I spent was 10,000 won. I couldn't send to the broker. The debt piled up. The broker wanted money up front, deposits, payments, guarantees. I borrowed from loan sharks, from other North Korean defectors, from anyone who would lend to me. 30 million won. It seemed impossible, but month by month, the number grew. 10 million, 15 million, 20 million. My body started breaking down. My feet ached constantly from standing all day. My hands were covered in burns from the fryer. I lost weight until my coworkers started asking if I was sick. I wasn't sick. I was just trying to save my family. There were nights I'd come home at 3 a.m., collapse on my bed, and cry, until I had to get up for my morning shift. I'd think about Minjun, now 17, now 18, and wonder if he hated me, if he thought I'd forgotten about him, about the motorcycle, about everything, but I couldn't contact him. It was too dangerous. The broker said any communication could alert the authorities, could put him and my mother in danger. So I worked in silence, accumulated debt in silence, and prayed that when I finally brought them over, Minjun would understand, would forgive me. It took me 2 years, 2 years of hell, but in 2021, I finally had the money, all 30 million won, borrowed and earned, and scraped together through blood and sweat and tears. I gave it to the broker, and then I waited. The phone call came in September 2021. A Chinese number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. I'd gotten scam calls before, but something made me pick up. The broker said, "They're in China. Safe. They'll be in South Korea in 3 weeks." I don't remember what happened after that. Think I dropped the phone. I think I cried for an hour straight. I think I called in sick to both jobs for the first time in 2 years, because I couldn't stop shaking. 3 weeks felt like 3 years. Every day I'd check my phone obsessively, terrified. I'd get a call saying something had gone wrong, that they'd been caught, that I'd gone through all of this for nothing, but they made it. October 2021, they arrived at Incheon Airport. I wasn't allowed to see them immediately. They had to go through processing, then Hanawon, but I knew they were safe, on South Korean soil, out of that nightmare. When they finally completed Hanawon 2 months ago, and I could see them, I went to the center with flowers. Stupid, I know. Who brings flowers to a resettlement center? But I wanted to give them something beautiful, something that said welcome home. Minjun walked out first, and I almost didn't recognize him. He'd grown so tall. His baby face had sharpened into a young man's face. He was 21 years old, 3 years older than when I'd last seen him. 3 years I'd missed. He saw me and just stopped. We stared at each other across the parking lot, and then he started walking toward me, faster and faster until he was running. and he crashed into me so hard we almost fell over. He hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe, and he was crying, ugly crying into my shoulder, saying I thought you were dead. I thought you forgot about us. I thought, and I was crying too, saying I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about the motorcycle. I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry. And then he pulled back. And he said, who cares about the motorcycle? You brought us here. You saved us. That's when I knew he'd grown up. Somewhere in those 3 years, my wild little brother had become a man who understood sacrifice, who understood that some promises get broken, so that bigger promises can be kept. Now we live together in a small apartment in Seoul. Me, Minjun, and our mother. It's cramped, one bedroom that my mother and I share, and Minjun sleeps on a mattress in the living room, but it's ours, and we're together. I'm still working both jobs, still paying off that 30 million won debt. It'll take me another 2 years at least, maybe 3, but I don't mind anymore, because when I come home at night, exhausted and smelling like fried chicken, Minjun is there. He's usually at the small table in our living room, studying for his GED equivalency exam. He wants to go to college eventually, study business, maybe. Our mother is usually in the kitchen, cooking something that smells like home. Minjun got a job at a convenience store. He's still learning. Last week, he accidentally charged someone 100,000 won instead of 10,000 won. His boss was angry, but Minjun just apologized, and worked extra hours to make up for it. He's adapting. Slowly but surely, he's becoming South Korean while still staying himself. Every payday, he tries to give me most of his money, to help with the debt. And every payday, I push it back at him, telling him to save it for himself. We argue about this constantly. He's stubborn, I'm stubborn. We're siblings, after all. Last week was my birthday. I came home from work, expecting nothing. Birthdays feel trivial when you're drowning in debt. But Minjun was waiting for me with a small wrapped box. Inside was a necklace. Nothing expensive, probably from a street vendor, but it was beautiful. He said, I know it's not a motorcycle, but I wanted to give you something, to show you that I remember, that I appreciate everything. I cried. Again. I seem to cry a lot these days. Happy tears now, mostly. And then, because some things never change, I kissed his cheek. He wiped it off and groaned, Nuna, I'm 21 years old. But he was smiling, that same smile from when he was a little boy, grudgingly accepting his annoying older sister's love. People ask me if I regret how I raised him, the strictness, the fly swatter, all of that, and honestly, I don't know. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I damaged him in ways I don't understand yet, but I also know that the discipline I gave him, the work ethic I forced into him, helped him survive, helped him adapt to this new life. Or maybe I'm just justifying my past mistakes. Maybe that's what we all do, tell ourselves stories about why we hurt the people we love. What I do know is this: we're here, we're safe, we're free. Minjun will never have to worry about his accordion practice, attracting the wrong kind of attention. He'll never have to watch his words or hide his thoughts. He can dream about college, about the future, about things bigger than survival. And maybe someday, when the debt is paid, and we've saved enough money, I'll buy him that motorcycle. We'll ride it together through the streets of Seoul, feeling the wind, going nowhere in particular, just riding because we can, because we're free. That's the promise I'm keeping now. Not the 18-year-old motorcycle promise, but something bigger. The promise that we'll build a life here, together, as family. Some promises take longer than you think. Some promises look different than you imagined. If you love someone enough, you keep them. One way or another, you keep them.